going to the years based on
We're going.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, please. Roll call, please, David.
Trustee Woodson.
Here.
Trustee Bear.
Here.
Trustee Anderson. Here. Trustee Carney.
Here.
Supervisor Spangler.
Here. If you'd all please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I want to start by giving a special shout out and thank you to the City of North Chicago, specifically the mayor and his office. Thank you, Mayor. Welcome. Good to have you here. We really appreciate this opportunity to be able to bring our meeting to the residents in North Chicago. And Tamara has been great, and I was at a program over at Neal's School on Monday, and I loved seeing on the marquee the announcement of our meeting here. So thank you very much for the cooperation. It's really appreciated.
And just to say, on behalf of myself and aldermen that are here, Alderman Mayfield, we welcome you. And, you know, anytime we can and open the doors to you, feel free.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is a motion to approve the minutes from the March 15th regular board meeting. Is there a motion?
I motion that we approve the minutes from March 15, regular board meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion by Woodson, second by Bear. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next is the motions to approve bills. Mary, please, on town fund.
Okay, on the town fund, I motion that we approve the bills for the town fund of $109,905.94. Outstanding invoices $8,431.45. A total of $118,337.39.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Woodson, second by Bear. Any discussion? Roll call, please, David.
Trustee Woodson.
Yes.
Trustee Bear.
Aye.
Trustee Anderson. Aye. Trustee Carney. And Supervisor Spangler.
Aye. And now for Road and Bridge, please, Lynn.
I move that we approve the road and bridge for the amount of $12,002.60.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Okay, motion by Bear, second by Woodson. Any discussion? David, please. Roll call.
Trustee Bear.
Aye.
Trustee Anderson. Aye. Trustee Carney. Trustee Woodson.
Aye.
Supervisor Spangler.
Aye. And finally, for general assistance, please, Laura.
I move that we approve the February bills, for the March bills.
March.
For GA and EA expenses in the amount of $1,196.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Carney, second by Anderson. Any discussion?
I'm just trying to look, how far are we over budget for the year for that?
Over budget?
Well, over what was budgeted for the
We
whole
just started
fiscal year.
the new year.
Right, but this is for through February, right?
No, this is March.
Through March.
This is the
Oh,
month
my
of March.
God.
Yeah. So this is just 1 month of the fiscal year that's being
Okay.
reflected.
So my question is then for last month, when I wasn't here, how much did we end up over budget for the year? Do you know, Kayla?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Because I'm just thinking for budgeting purposes, we may need to change if it's still growing. Is
Yeah,
this-
I don't know that
You
number.
can't give us a feel as to whether this is consistently gonna keep
I
going?
think we were pretty close to budget on the number for GADA.
Not the way we were tracking before the March meeting, we were quite,
I'd have to let you know. I don't know. I haven't
okay,
those figures
we
with
should
me.
talk, we can talk about that on the phone next time.
Okay.
Sorry about that. The lunch.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please, David.
Trustee Anderson. Aye. Trustee Carney.
Aye.
Trustee Woodson.
Aye.
Trustee Bear.
Aye.
Supervisor Strange.
Aye. Aye. Next is public comment. Anybody from the audience who cares to get up and speak? Welcome.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome you here too. My name is Dr. Wado Brooks. I'm here in the city of North Chicago, in Shields Township, that's 18th Street back south, right? I just came from another meeting and just had to get here, and some of the other members would love to have been here too. They're planning on a great thing for North Chicago, recognizing families from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. You know, and I think it's going to be outstanding, and we like to have you trustees as a part of it, but we'll keep you informed as the progress has been made. They just started the last 3 or 4 meetings and trying to get that together. Hopefully, in the fall, it'll be ready to go. But I had to come out and just, when I just found out about this, I don't know, what about the publicity on this? You publicize that you're coming into
We have.
North Chicago, because I haven't seen any publicity on it.
Well, we tried to do that. I know we hear that every time, and we keep trying to get more creative, but we've had flyers up City Hall, the library, Foss Park, we're on Marquee, it's on the website. It was voted on at the January meeting, so we're
Yeah,
trying. And
I
it's in
was
all
at-
the food pantry bags, so.
Okay, well, you did your part then, yeah. I was at the City Hall meeting this Monday and nothing was said about it, and I made a comment about it the first time people had heard about it, you know. So, is it once a year you come out or twice a year? How often do you come out in the sites?
Well, right now for the annual schedule, I think we've got one, this is the one for the year, possibly with a second one in the fall.
Yeah, if I'm on your list, I'll leave my email with you. I'll be happy to.
I apologize you didn't know about it. Again,
And I'll spread the word through my
Please.
contacts, through
Perfect.
radio and TV, you know, to let people know about this. So I think it's exciting to do this, and I really apologize. And more people at the meeting I just left, when I mentioned to them, they would have loved to have been here too, you know. There's still a great need in North Chicago especially. I know I mentioned last time, I think I talked with you, that in Waukegan Township, there's extraordinary services that are provided, you know, for the 18th Street North, you know. But here in Shields Township, we feel that we're been neglected. You know, we don't get the services that we feel that we should be getting, you know, tax money that we pay. Well, some of it because of transportation, people don't have transportation to get down there, but you know, that's when I was excited that you came here, and sorry about the audience not here. But what was decided upon about grants given? I think the last time there was some talk, you were gonna discontinue your, I know you still have general assistance, but when did you give special grants out each year? Organizations that petition and about the need, and it wasn't just North Chicago either, because there were agencies in other parts.
that practice was discontinued by the board. Yeah, it was discontinued.
It was only, I think it was how much was that a year? Do you remember?
It varied. It was from the prior administration.
Okay. Is it possible that can be put back on the agenda and reconsidered and re-talked to, since you, I guess I'm expressing it from Shields here in North Chicago. Could that be revisited, and if we could come in and make presentations, you know, from the groups about the need for.
Well, just to give you a little background, there was an advisory referendum that was put on the ballot in, when was that? 2009, 2008.
Yeah, I'll put this together.
And the result of it, while advisory, the result of it was overwhelmingly that voters did not want to continue the practice of funding agencies. So is it possible to revisit? Absolutely. But again, you would be flying into the headwind of a pretty strong advisory referendum vote.
It's amazing though, it really, that we find out not just here in Shields, and I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I just really want to really emphasize the need, not just here in Shields Township, but nationwide. Can you imagine the proposal now to get rid of the education department and what's the other two? What's education? Oh, HUD. Can you imagine that? And this is a federal government, you know, and I can't understand the thinking. And especially when the wife and I, we've been in serving what, you know all what we do in 34 years, you know, and we got a lot of other things on the table that we're doing, but we just can't do it ourselves. But 3 of the members on the basketball team that got second place, you know, they couldn't handle the academic work in high school. They were sent to Daisy's Resource Center, and we brought them up to speed and then sent them back so they could participate. You know, so we have people living in cars. It bothers me. I just can't fathom students living in cars. You know, it's a terrible situation. And that's when I say, I wonder if you could revisit that and really we could have people come in and maybe got a stronger feel of this than I, to try to impress upon you that, you know, and I'm sure probably in your area too, Lake Forest, Lake Bluff, you have some people that are in need. The agencies there that are in need.
If I could just interject for just a moment, one of the things that we do, and I know this is perhaps falls short of what you're looking for, is we do every month bring in an agency to come talk. And because these meetings are video, which you know how that goes, and on cable, as well as on our website, it is an opportunity for various agencies to showcase who they are, what they do, and opportunities for support, whether that be financial support, volunteer support, or other. So we hear what you're saying. Again, we're acting on an advisory referendum that was strongly in favor of discontinuing the practice.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me, Dr. Brooks, do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have a date for the event that you talked about in the celebration of North Chicago?
When I left there, they were talking about September 8th. September 8th. Monday, I'm going to be interviewing the chairperson on the radio show to strongly get the word out, and then we'll have a TV show. And you get my TV shows, Lake Forest. Okay, I just checking. 1 o'clock Friday afternoon and Sunday morning 9 o'clock. Okay, yeah, we'll be getting out periodic announcements and information on it, yeah. And of course, the mayor's here now, you know about Community Day, and that's, mayor could give a date on that. What's the date, Mayor? August, I know.
August, first weekend in August,
Okay.
August 4th and 5th.
Okay. So that's another good time there too. Showcase, you know, North Chicago. Thank you very much.
Thank
For your
you,
interest.
Bruce. Anybody else? All right. Next is our community partner presenter. It's Sandy Stevens from PADS. And we are very lucky in this area to have, it used to be Public Action to Deliver Shelter, but I know we changed the,
Right, it's PADS Lake County now, we changed from PADS Crisis Services, PADS Lake County, and it's Dignity. Gosh, I
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. You don't know, I don't feel bad.
Yeah, but it's more, it's Dignity is what we're looking at in shelter, so.
And Sandy Stevens is the Director of Operations and Services, and we've been working together on a few cases quite a bit lately, so it's wonderful to have you, and I know it's an interesting time of the year for you, and I'm sure you'll get into
Yes, it is.
that discussion.
Yeah, and thank you, Gail. I appreciate working with you guys. You helped me a lot, and with a lot of people, so I appreciate that very much. I'll just start a little bit. We started having shelter, we started having shelter in 1987. I now have 15 sites, which run from October 1st through April 30th, and that's kind of why Gail said this is the end of our season. I actually had a summer shelter starting 3 years ago for the first time. Thanks to Foz Park, we've worked with them the last few years to get their building. I now have it June 1st to October 1st. We still have the Family Center, which holds 42 people, and that's designated to families only. They actually have cubicles in there, a real year-round shelter. I have a safe haven program, which has 15 beds, which is above us at pads by the VA hospital. That's for somebody that's chronically homeless, severely mentally ill, and we are full at both places. As of today, I still have 50-some people at shelter, 50 to 60 we've been running. April 30th, I have 60 people, really no place to go, okay? Gail told me to come and kind of talk about maybe my needs and things, and I can always use the basic needs, which is we run on donations only with cleaning supplies, toilet paper, paper products, all that for everybody. Right now, my biggest plea is, I've worked out an agreement with Foz Park to get the shelter again. I really wanted to have more beds this year. Financially, we cannot do it. Part of the reason is we have to have the vans running. So if I had to pay for the bus and pay for a bus driver, it's $260 a day. And we do have shelter 7 days a week. I also pay staff over there to provide and stay all night from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. So it's 12 hours a day, 7 days a week right now. I ask the community for anything. It's for my summer shelter, basically. To get most of the people that are at the shelter right now are mentally ill or have a disability. I do have a lot of vets that have disabilities too there right now. They're very detrimental to be leaving, to be on the streets, to be very honest with you. I still have probably 7 women. And with all the agencies in Lake County, to be honest with you, there's no place for most of the people right now. Everybody's full. So I guess that's my biggest thing is if anybody wants to help, volunteer, donate, it would be to my summer shelter.
What's going to be the capacity at?
Right now, it's only 28. I have to use my vans, and there's 14 seats on each van, so that's my capacity that I totally can use because we just don't financially have any more money to run through the bus, which I could up to maybe 50 people.
Could you explain that more? I guess I'm not connecting between to get the people to the shelter.
Right, yes. We provide the transportation. We do not allow them to walk into the site due to we don't want everybody hanging outside because they do have kids over there. And in the morning, they have people come back over there. So we worked out the agreement that we would transport over there again. I would have to hire about 2 more staff to keep the vans going back and forth, and that would be very hard also. So having a bus driver and a bus running would be, much better for us. And to make sure that it's safe over there and everything runs smoothly, that's why I pay staff to do it. Most of my volunteers are pretty well burned out after the sites are done with, and I don't normally get volunteers in the summertime. It's very hard. So I pay staff to do it.
What type of, you said you need beds, is there certain types that you purchase or?
I mean beds as just a place for them to lay down at, that's all. We actually have mats. But I would like to be able to provide more beds, people space, I guess. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah. We have mats, which we bought, and I have capacity up to 50 of them. I just don't have the transportation to get the people there. And I would actually have to have 2 staff there to have 50 people. So that's, yeah.
So I'm repeating back to you, what you'd really like to do is have capacity of 50 people.
Correct,
Which
yes.
means you need to pay for
And a bus driver and a second staff person all night.
do you know how much money that is?
I do know our administrator, approximately it's $260 back. It's $131 way just to pay for a bus driver and gas for our bus. It's very costly. And even if we were to get first student to do it, it's about the same no matter which we do. Staff,
$130 a night
yeah.
for transportation?
Yeah, for what they get paid, and yeah. And I think that all includes gas, it's what we pay the bus driver, the time. I think they have to pay them at least an hour and a half to 2 hours at the standard. And I'm not sure, I'm not that's not my part, the money part totally, but, yeah, so, yeah, it is, that's kind of the breakdown. That's why we, this year again, like I said, we paid Foss Park, so we're able to use the building, and I'm able to pay my staff, but that's, so the other people, when they come, I can only keep 28 people. The rest of the people are on the street, basically, is what it is. Yeah. So that's kind of, the real big thing that I was, trying to look for.
Is this 7 nights a week or 1 night a week?
7 nights a week.
So $260 a night?
Yeah, I know.
No, we're just trying to come up with a number. So
Yeah.
260 a night for how many nights?
7 nights a week.
Right, so you're saying June to October.
To October, correct, yeah. Yeah, I open up my regular shelters and.
So that's 120 days times $260, right?
Where does your money come from? I mean, I know a lot of it's raised privately. Is it all private, or do you get a certain amount of government money? And if government money, from what levels of government does it come
HUD,
from?
DECA, CDBG, ESG, yeah, we do a lot of grants. Yeah, we work cut in, a lot of those, yeah.
When you say grants, but do you get annual appropriations? And there are pads, I know there are pads locations all over the Chicago area. Is it a national
No,
organization as well?
No, we're not affiliated with any other pads at all.
What percentage, what percentage of your total money comes from private sources? I know you have an active
That I'm
fundraising
not really
program.
sure of, yeah. I could send, Gail, I could actually get you a breakdown and send it to you. I could do that.
We ran the numbers. We were looking for about $31,000.
Possibly. Yeah. Yeah.
31,200. Would there be a way to use the taxi service in North Chicago? Would that be less expensive? I'm just wondering.
I'm not really sure about that.
Where are you moving to and from, or why, where you're going to?
From the VA, we're in Building 5 on the VA and just over here to Foss Park.
That's close.
Right, yeah. I think the 130, that's included in, wear and tear of the gas and bus drivers, what we pay them.
Probably insurance and those.
Insurance, everything, yeah, totally, yeah.
Do you own the buses?
We do own our bus, yes, correct. But we also, during the season, we use our own bus, plus we use First Student also. Because in the morning time, most of the people want to get out of there, so if we have to drive to Indian Creek and Grays Lake, my bus driver may go to Indian Creek, the other bus driver may go to Grays Lake, so we kind of like have a balance of different ones going at different times. So we utilize both of them, actually.
So they're not, okay, I was misunderstanding, I thought you drove them all from Building 5 to Falls Park. But then-
Yeah, I was talking about the season. She asked me about the thing, but yeah, during the season, I utilize our own bus and I utilize the First Student. The First Student, actually, we would probably end up paying more than what I would for my own, to be honest with you.
So for the Falls Park thing in the summer,
Yes, it
you
is.
only go from Building 5 to Falls Park,
Yeah.
and the same bus can't make 2 or 3 trips?
I would have to have a special bus driver, and it costs a lot more money for him to drive the bus back and forth. And that's part of our biggest thing. And to have more people, I actually have to pay another staff member too. I cannot have one person overseeing all those hours with 50 people. Yeah, I would have to have 2 people. No. And again,
What's the staff cost?
I think we only pay them like $9.50 an hour, $10 an hour.
For 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
so another $240 a day, so double that, 60,000.
Anyway, that's just my dream. What can I say? Keep people off the street in the summertime, so that's, yeah.
Can I ask you, so why did the other shelters close down for the summer months?
We tried to get some of them to open up.
Well, but are they Can you explain that?
Basically, I think financially, volunteer-wise, after all those months, they're done.
So where are your other shelters located?
I have them from North Chicago to Waukegan to Indian Creek, Libertyville, Wakanda, Mundelein. I am all over.
And these are the
The regular
churches.
churches,
these are
they're churches, correct,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And the volunteers, I really, during the summer, they're gone, they have their own lives, they don't want to volunteer in the summer. I have tried, believe me. And I got one church to do it, and then she did it almost all night by herself because she couldn't get volunteers. So, and then, yeah,
Okay, so that helps
Yeah.
me understand.
yeah, that's the 15 sites that I have.
When our church, and there's 3 of us that go to the same church here, is involved with PADS, and we have the second and fifth Tuesday.
Okay.
But it's been coming at, is it 3 in the morning and cooking breakfast for them? I mean, it's a pretty big commitment for the volunteers to come and support the PADS. And it's- So,
They do supper, they do lunches, and they do breakfast. And I know most of my sites right now, this last season, third shift, they were struggling big time, not having enough people. I had a lot of people doing it every week, and they were pretty well burnt out. I know Greater St. James and North Chicago has really a need of volunteers in third shift, so, yeah, it is a huge commitment for them.
any other questions?
Daunting task,
Hmm?
daunting task.
Yes, it is. April 30th is a very daunting test when you have to watch everybody leave the building too. So, yeah, we're doing our best to try to get a place, but it's not been easy this year.
Well, and you've done a great job, and again, the PADS location is located in Shields Township, so we do quite a bit of
Yeah,
work
you do.
with.
I
You
appreciate it
have
very
been
much.
wonderful. I mean, Sandy, you have an incredible job, and you do an incredible job, so
Thank
thank
you
you
very
for
much.
all that you
Thank you.
contribute.
So the pads, if people want to donate, it's on the Shields.
There's a link on the
Yeah.
website.
I just wanted
Yeah,
to
thank
go
you.
ahead and give your.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is old business. I know of none. So, new business. Earlier this week, I had received and then sent to the board a request sent out by the Lake County Coordinated Transportation Services Committee, which is otherwise known as LCCTSC. And it is a group of governments, healthcare, health services providers who are working with the goal of providing affordable, convenient, reliable transportation. Ultimately, their goal would be to have a borderless type of transportation network in Lake County on a paratransit basis, and they define paratransit as demand responsive transportation, generally earmarked for the elderly, for the disabled, for the low income, to, among other things, help access to jobs and medical appointments and that sort of thing. So we have been asked, we all townships have received this letter to join and support the efforts to improve the quality of life in the county through this organization. And they provided a resolution, which we are being asked to review and adopt and to name a delegate and an alternate delegate to attend the quarterly meetings. So I would open it up to you all and see if you have any questions.
I looked at a lot of this stuff online, awful lot of stuff in there, very confusing. Basically, there's two technical committee reports. Nothing is really figured out yet. There's nothing listed on costs or potential costs or anything. It doesn't really explain what they want us to do, if they want us to say we support it, or
Well, the resolution is just asking for that to support, to say that we would join in our effort to help
But what does join in mean?
No, there's no financial consideration. One of the things that they've done, because I went a couple of years ago when we first started having conversations about transportation, I went to a couple of these meetings, and they did bring in representatives from some study groups, I think maybe the same ones that they had in Lake Forest when they were doing that study, where they were looking at what's the need, what's the assets currently available, and how can you work to better meet the needs and the assets. And I don't know a whole lot about it because I stopped going to the meetings. But I do know, for example, in Grant, Lake Villa, and another township, they have a test route of transportation as a result of this, where it had federal grant money that went to fund a shared bus service in those 3 townships.
And I know North Chicago has public transportation, correct, right?
It does.
And then we pay for the taxi cab program. What we did have was it 2 years ago, that we had mothers come whose children had various disabilities, and they've been in the school district, and under the school district rules, they get transportation everywhere. So all of a sudden, it was a rude awakening for these people when their kids were graduating from school, that they no longer qualified for that. But I don't think townships are the solution, because you get to the edge of the township and you can't get, it's really a county issue.
Well, there are county members on
And,
this.
and I think the county, I mean, I did do research on this issue after this one came, I presented to the board. I spoke with Kurt's office. I spoke to all the different representatives and said, what is going on? And then I did some research on what other states did, and most places do it by county. I just don't know why they're wanting townships to get involved, because we're a little tiny, it just cuts up the piece. It doesn't make any sense. Like the woman who came in, she needed her son, her daughter to get from Lake Forest to the Whole Foods. You need a unified system.
Well, that's, they're talking about that borderless thing, and I think it's nothing expected of the townships other than to be a participant, since we oftentimes will be the ones who know the people who have the need. I mean, that's one of the things that people do, is come to us for transportation assistance and help. I was at a supervisor's luncheon yesterday, and I was talking about presenting this tonight, and tried to see if one of the gals who's the secretary of the group could come and speak to us, and she can't. We can table this, and I can see if she can come next month and just talk about what the group is doing and what the role and expectation is. My understanding is nothing other than to us have a place at the table to just give input and to report back.
Why can't we just, why don't we do that then, Gail? Why don't we table it for the next meeting and let her explain exactly what it is? Let's see how they can.
And then my question would be, you don't need to resolve, I don't think, to do this to participate. I mean, we can go to a meeting if we.
Right, I just think it's meant to show support.
It's about, I think I saw about 8 townships that have some involvement on there in Lake County.
Yeah,
It's about
18.
20. There's 18 county board members.
Well, there's 18 townships and 21 county board members.
It's not going to happen.
I think they're just looking to kind of have a unified approach to the issue. So I don't know that there's any other obligation. But I'll ask
And
Kathleen if
it's
she
not
wants.
part of our, it's another example of townships getting involved in things that really aren't what townships are designated to do. It's so,
I don't think it's something that we're gonna actually be obligated to. I think it's having the availability, you know, such things.
I think it's adding, I think it's sending a message that we think Township should be in the transportation business.
That's my concern. I think because we have the.
I mean, we
existing-
are in the transportation business right now, to a limited extent, helping the elderly in North Chicago and the elderly in the rest of the township.
Sure, it's not by mandate.
But I think it's, you know, the reason you have transportation agencies is because it isn't something to be done piecemeal.
Oh, and I agree with you, Laura.
And I don't think Township should be in.
I don't think this is, I think the intent is just exactly that. It's so that it isn't done piecemeal, that it's done in a unified approach. That's why they would bring in all levels of government. That's my understanding. But I'll ask Kathleen to come and speak next week or next month at the board
Maybe
meeting.
it would be helpful to hear why she thinks it's necessary to have so many people.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I have no other new business, so it would be township reports. Bill, do you have anything?
It's been pretty quiet here, other than a pretty good rain last weekend, so we've got a few drainage issues that always pop up when we get 2 inches of rain in a short amount of time. So that kind of brings those up to everybody's attention. Other than that, just kind of getting going here on some road maintenance for the year. Other than that, it's all good.
Are you going to make are you going to identify what roads you're going to be working on? Is there going to be that kind of?
I'm gonna, put together a bid package and send it out, but I'm still kind of in the process of gathering ballparks to make sure that I'm putting a bid package together that's reasonable and close to my budget.
But I mean, in terms of what streets specifically, is there a way that there will be input as to streets to be considered?
If I ask for input, everybody's street is gonna be the most important street and the one that needs to be done. I've got, my eye on the ones that I feel are, the worst and the most traveled, and that kind of goes hand in hand with how I'm looking at it. I feel like I'm being a dictator by not sharing that, but that's the way it's gonna be this year.
So you won't put out a plan?
Well, I will, when it's formulated better, I'll let everyone know what, streets are gonna be part of the bid package. But I could sit and discuss with, hundreds of people why their street should be done. And it's because it's in front of their house in most cases, not because it's the one that needs it the most. So,
You need to formulate a plan to use the money that you have allotted.
exactly, to get the most bang for our buck and take care of the worst ones.
And then his defense scale, that's how the other place, the city engineers decide which roads need it the most.
I'm just asking because I know I get asked.
Is that true, David? That's how they left us, right?
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, in my experience as a village board member, we didn't have, public hearings where people came in to lobby that their particular stretch of road get fixed. I mean, we approved, I mean, it's a different situation with the municipality, but it was part of the budget that we'd approved the plan presented by the village engineer. The road commissioner and township says maybe a little more discretion, since not having to report to the board all the time.
I'm just suggesting reporting to the citizens is all I'm suggesting,
Well, when I will,
residents. Because I'm gonna tell you, I get a lot of phone calls at the office, so.
I do
think
too,
it's fair to
I
refer
do.
them.
Pardon?
You can always refer them to.
Oh, we do, believe me.
I talk to folks about it, and, some of them are very, very legitimate, and that's part of the fun of it too, is, through the winter and the spring, new stuff pops up. So, You know, you get new potholes and sinkholes and stuff that, you know, I try to leave a little bit of fudge in it so I can go ahead and, you know, do a lot of the major stuff, but I still have to have something left there for some of the other things that come along, so.
Thank you.
It's fun. Thank you.
Trustees, any reports? Okay, supervisors report. First of all, I just want to, we're up here in North Chicago, so I don't know how many of you had a chance to see, but at our offices down in Knollwood, there was a kind of an attractive nuisance playground that was on the south end of the building. And two community groups together, the Knollwood Neighbors and the Knollwood Fire Department, worked to clear that attractive nuisance out, take out the playground, take out a lot of the scrub and some of the more hidden dangers that were there on the ground, and then seeded, graded, and have actually provided more park space for the area. So I want to thank them. It was, we're going to hopefully have some pictures up on the website, but it was a wonderful coordinated community effort to do something positive and clean, and certainly with the blessing of the landlord. Next, I just wanted to mention that I have been asked to participate in a new organization that is something called a MAP action team, which stands for Mobilizing for Action Through Planning and Partnerships. And they are preparing strategic framework for community health assessment and planning. And it will be related to the coordination of care in the county for medical and home and behavioral health and human services efforts. So there will be alliances between the public and the private sector, as well as with various social service agencies, and Monday is the first introduction of the program, so I will continue to update everybody as this goes on. But it's kind of exciting to think that there will be a much more unified and coordinated approach to the needs in the county.
Is this, again, is this through the county health department, or who's?
Yeah, Irene Pierce is. Next, I want to acknowledge some special people in the audience. I saw an article in the New Sun where next week there are going to be 6 members. Oh, somebody has something. Can you speak to it just a moment? Just because I was hoping you guys were going to get up during the public comment time.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, my name is Paula Curvito, and I'm the president-elect for the North Chicago Exchange Club. And we are honored to be able to take 6 veterans, 3 World War II veterans and 3 local veterans, to Washington, D.C. next Friday. And we do have 3 here today. So we do have Charles Wallace and Mr. Woodley and Mr. Frank Wortham. And so we're really excited, and we did have a cupcake sale over the weekend, and we've been raising funds for this awesome trip that we're doing next week. And we're also going to have a send-off for the veterans Friday, April 27th at 9:30, and we're going to meet at the memorial, which is 1805 Sheridan Road. We're going to have prayer. We're going to have a bunch of people just come on out and wave their flags and have a great send-off, and they'll get in the limo, and we'll ship them off to Milwaukee. And we will be in D.C. Friday, Saturday, and then we come back on Sunday. So I did send out a letter to your office. I hope you got it. Mr. Wortham and a lot of the guys are really excited. So we're just really happy to be able to, give them, praise them for what they've done. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Wortham, you said, what's the last time you were in Washington, D.C., 1944?
1944.
1944, so probably a few things have changed, huh?
Quite a few, I guess. I was only 18 then. I couldn't even get nothing but a milkshake.
Well, I think it's great. I think it's great, and congratulations, and thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Yeah, can I say one thing? It's a strictly dedication on their part. We did the TV show with them for 1 hour. It's airing right now. But they didn't miss anything because each one had copies of it. So. But
Thank you for letting us
you
on
did a
the
great
show.
job.
Thank
You're going to Hollywood, yeah. But I think it. Are you still asking for donations?
Yeah, we are. We're about 75% towards our goal, and they can be mailed. I have flyers in the car. They can be mailed to our Exchange Club P.O. Box in North Chicago, which is P.O. Box 2. Or you could bring the donations on Friday. We're going to have a donation box for people that are coming that day for the send-off. So
Perfect.
thank you.
Great, all right. Next, I wanted to just do an update from Phoenix Rising, talking about the food pantry and contributions we've received. We had a large contribution from the Lindenhurst Health and Fitness Center through their Lose to Win program. I actually was a member of a variation of that 3 years ago, and it's a grueling 8-9 weeks, but fun. They had 237 participants who donated 804 pounds of food, which is up 22% from the prior year. So congratulations to the people who went through the program, but thank you so much to the Lindenhurst Health and Fitness Center. Union Church, I just have to make sure I give them a shout out every month because they are faithfully, Union Church of Lake Bluff faithfully makes donations to the food pantry. And one of the things that we're in the process of doing is migrating over to a client choice pantry. Rather than, we're kind of space limited, but so up until this point we've been pre-bagging for our clients who come, but have found that it would be a more dignified and more economical way to service our clients by letting people do a shop the pantry kind of program. So they will be able to come in, and again, according to family size, we will have limits on how many cans of vegetables or soup or peanut butter, but people will be able to pick and choose those things that they like and or are allowed to eat, so that we're not sending out food that either people won't enjoy or worse, that they can't eat and would be allergic to or something like that. So that's something we are in the process of migrating over to, and so we're excited about that. I'd mentioned this last month, but I just want to again say that the Gorder Family Foundation and the North Chicago Community Partners with Shields Township Phoenix Rising are going to hold their Healthy Minds, Healthy Body food efforts next week, April 24th at A.J. Katzenmeyer School, and then again on May 1st at South School. And these are programs that they are putting on which are meant for the families of the students at those two schools. And they're going to, in addition to having a mobile food pantry truck there amplified with healthy choices, healthy food choices, they will also be having different kinds of activities, games, and lectures, and that sort of thing to try and make this a family inviting type of evening. It's going to run, I think, from 4 to 8, but there are volunteers that are needed. It's going to be pretty labor intensive, so anybody who is available, you are welcome to come and urged to come next Tuesday, the 24th, and then May 1st.
And Shields Township's involvement is that we are funding.
We're funding the mobile food pantries, yes. And then we are in the process of launching a small pilot summer youth employment program. This is kind of in concert with the board's desire to explore some opportunities beyond that which had been available previously. Last summer we had 2 college interns who researched and developed kind of the best of some of the programs that were out and available, and they received university credit for that. We have submitted those proposals to some private foundations and have received some earmarked funding so that we will again have, it will be small to begin with and see how that goes, but it's going to be an exciting program that has some measures built into it which will have the kids be more accountable, have some educational components to it. So we're excited to see that start up. And then finally, I just want to mention that on July 13th, we have our second annual Drive for Food golf outing. Last year we had our initial one, a volunteer took it upon himself to organize and quarterback it and was really quite successful, and so he's willing to go at it again. So July 13th, hopefully you all can make it, and if you don't play golf, you can come for just dinner and or help volunteer. So that's my report.
Can I just clarify something, Gail? So Phoenix Rising is a separate 501c3 nonprofit entity that's separate from Shields Township, and the money for these projects is coming out of that, and it's purely by private donations. So no tax dollars are being spent on this project. And then Gail herself is supervising the summer youth program
Well, with the intern.
with the intern. And the intern's salary is being handled by a private donation. So, just to clarify how that's working, why the board isn't voting to approve this is because it's all being funded through
Private donations.
Phoenix Rising, which is the nonprofit.
All right, I have nothing else.
Yep, just question right quick. I was listening that you were speaking about the summer youth program, and I'm not really familiar with it. And how are North Chicago students, how can they find out about it, and what can they do to apply to be a part of that youth program?
Call Gail.
Yeah, you can get in touch with me. When I tell you it's going to be very small and very limited, it's very small and very limited.
Okay, well, at least they'll know so they can have an equal opportunity to get a chance to find out
We've already
about
got
it.
some names, so, yeah.
Say it again?
We've already had some names referred to us, so. But absolutely call me and I can talk to people about how to.
Make sure they include it.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, is there a motion for adjournment?
I motion that we join our meeting for 4/19.
Is there a second? Okay, motion by Woodson, second by Bear. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate it.